Welcome back, dear listeners. If you enjoyed our last audiobook summary, get ready for another life-transforming message. Today, we dive into Financial Stewardship by Andrew Wommack, a book that reveals how to handle finances in alignment with God's principles. Money is often a major source of stress, but Wommack teaches that true financial freedom comes from trusting God, not from wealth itself. Let's break down this powerful book, chapter by chapter, in a way that speaks directly to you. Book, Chapter 1. Being a Steward. Andrew Wommack begins by explaining that we are not owners but stewards of God's resources. Everything we have, our money, our jobs, our opportunities, are gifts from God that we are responsible for managing wisely. A steward is not the owner but someone entrusted with handling another's wealth. Wommack shares how many Christians experience financial struggles because they fail to recognize this principle. Instead of hoarding money in fear or mismanaging it, we must realize that God is our provider and our role is to handle His resources with integrity and wisdom. A key point Wommack emphasizes is that many people mistakenly believe that their success is solely the result of their hard work and intelligence. While diligence is important, God is the ultimate source of promotion and increase. A steward acknowledges that financial blessings come from Him and should be used to advance His kingdom. Key lessons. Money should be a tool, not a master. God is the true source of all financial blessings. A stewardship mindset changes how we handle wealth. Trusting God's provision leads to financial peace. Everything we have belongs to God. We are merely managers. Book, Chapter 2. God is a giver. Wommack explains that God is not a taker, He is a giver. Many people view God as someone who demands offerings and tithes, but in reality, He is the source of all provision. He desires His people to prosper, not for selfish gain, but to be a blessing to others. He references Abraham, David, and Solomon, who were prosperous because they trusted God. Their wealth was not acquired by striving, but through obedience and faith. Wommack clarifies that biblical prosperity is not about greed, but about having more than enough to fulfill God's purpose and bless others. Another important aspect of this chapter is that Wommack shifts the focus from money as a goal to money as a tool. Wealth should never be the focus. Rather, it should be seen as a means to carry out God's plans. Key lessons. God blesses us so that we can be a blessing. Prosperity is about trusting God's provision, not hoarding wealth. Giving is an act of faith and trust in God's financial system. Wealth should always be used for kingdom purposes. True prosperity is not just about material wealth, but includes peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Book, Chapter 3. Greater Things. Wommack makes a bold statement. Trusting God with your finances is the smallest step of faith. He argues that if we can't trust Him with money, how can we trust Him for greater spiritual matters like healing, deliverance, and divine guidance? People often want big miracles in their lives, yet they fail in simple financial obedience. Being faithful with money is a foundational step toward deeper faith. This chapter also challenges the reader to examine their spending habits. Do we trust God with our finances, or do we rely on credit cards, loans, and debt? A life of faith includes financial decisions that align with biblical principles. Key lessons. Faithfulness in finances leads to faithfulness in greater spiritual matters.
Giving is a test of our trust in God's provision.
Financial stewardship is a starting point for deeper faith. Small acts of faith in money prepare us for greater kingdom assignments. Debt can be a sign that we trust in man's system more than God's provision. Chapter 4. Hidden Treasure. Jesus taught, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Wommack explains that money reveals our true priorities. If all our financial efforts are directed toward accumulating wealth, we risk neglecting God's kingdom. Many believers worry about financial security, but Wommack reminds us that when we invest in God's work, we tap into supernatural provision. This chapter also covers the power of generosity. Those who give with the right heart attitude experience greater peace, joy, and unexpected provision from God. Key lessons. True riches are spiritual, not just financial. Money reveals what we truly value. We must invest in God's kingdom, not just in material gain. God rewards those who trust Him with their finances. Giving is a powerful key to unlocking God's blessings. Chapter 5. Seek first the kingdom. Matthew 6:33 states, "Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you." Wommack emphasizes that financial security comes not from chasing wealth, but from pursuing God's purpose first. Many people focus on saving and accumulating without realizing that God is their ultimate source. By putting Him first, all other needs fall into place. Key lessons. Anxiety over money reveals misplaced trust. God's way of prosperity is about putting Him first. When we seek His kingdom, our needs are met supernaturally. Financial worries disappear when we walk in God's will. A life of kingdom focus leads to peace and provision. Chapters 6 to 10. Giving and trusting God. The final chapters focus on tithing, generosity, and financial partnerships. Wommack debunks myths about giving out of fear or obligation and teaches that giving should be joyful and faith-filled. Key lessons. Tithing is not about rules, but about trust. Giving where you're spiritually fed leads to blessings. Partnership in ministry is a powerful way to invest in God's work. Supernatural provision follows those who give with a cheerful heart. God's financial system operates on faith, not fear. Final thoughts. Financial Stewardship by Andrew Wommack teaches that true wealth comes from trusting God, living generously, and seeking His kingdom first. Money should be a servant, not a master. Are you trusting God with your finances? Are you using money as a tool for God's purpose? Are you giving in faith and joy, not fear? New audiobook summaries drop weekly. Subscribe and stay tuned. Beep.